Heroes of Might and Magic Quest for the DragonBone Staff is a strategy adventure RPG that almost feels more like a board game than video game. The premise is pleasingly simple. The king is deathly ill and a vicious dragon roams the land in search of absolute power. You must acquire the ancient DragonBone Staff to restore the king's health and slay the dragon. In pursuit of this goal, you'll amass an army of incredible size, exploring and conquering the 4 continents of your vast world. In practice, it's something like a scavenger hunt. There are villains spread throughout the maps holed up in their castles, and capturing them provides you with a piece of the map to the DragonBone Staff. You'll steadily build up your forces to confront these big baddies in climactic showdowns, thoroughly scouring the scenery for recruitable units, treasure, artifacts, and spells along the way. The chests you find lying around are effectively event cards, randomly providing you with loot, spells, or even mineral deposits. All of these tie into the game's risk-reward balance, where you're trying to keep your finances, army, and travel time all in check. You see, if you take too long, the king will perish, but if you rush in, you'll get party wiped and lose all your units, having to buy new ones from scratch. Everything in this game is a resource of some kind, and the mechanics, while simple, are incredibly distinctive. Instead of experience points, you have leadership points, which determine how many men you can recruit. These men are represented visually as singular units, but in reality house dozens or hundreds of individual soldiers. This abstraction of war and leadership leads to some surprising insights about the sheer human cost of conflict. It may take 5,000 peasants to kill 100 knights, but if you're willing to pay that toll, it gets the job done. Likewise, no amount of peasants could ever hope to kill a dragon, and even dragons will fall to 200 men on horseback. All of these soldiers cost different amounts, so you'll be balancing both the literal economy and the economy of human life. Sacrifices must be made, and these are some hefty sacrifices. It helps that each unit has its own characteristics and racial abilities. Demons can randomly cut any given unit stack in half, trolls regenerate health at the end of each turn, ghosts will turn your dead soldiers into, well, ghosts. This is in addition to regular unit balancing. Is it better to have giants who are slow and cumbersome, but are incredibly hardy rock hurlers, or will you grab some archmages who have limited powerful projectiles and extreme mobility? Or both, but then you've got to be sure they don't get mad and attack each other, since some units strongly dislike others. Despite all this, the core mechanics are fairly basic. There are no status effects, you can't upgrade your castles or put your units to use outside of combat. All the focus was placed purely on balancing the few available resources. This is a gamey game, and it's concerned with being a game foremost, to the point it forsakes audiovisual qualities, storytelling, and, well, basically everything that isn't the core design principles. The narrative is uninspired and lacks in loquaciousness or fairy tale charm, aside some excellent pre-rendered movies. The 3D models are also incredibly low poly and absent of style. But if you care about gameplay foremost, DragonBone Staff has you covered, and how. Nothing feels quite like it, not even other titles in its own franchise. This is a simpler, more straightforward experience, but it still provides ample emergent strategizing, and it hooked me in a way few tactics games do.